I've stated before on this channel that I'm a huge Beatles fan, and this Christmas was a huge Beatles Christmas for me. It's almost a Beatles overload, if you can have such a thing. There's so much information, I'm going to actually break this into 2 separate episodes, and they're both going to be called Let It Back. So let's drop the needle on episode 1, the books. So yeah, this last Christmas season sure saw a lot of Beatles material released. We'll talk about some of the books. There were actually 3 books that came out, very important books, all right around the Christmas period. And the first one is this massive tome. It's Paul McCartney, The Lyrics, and it's a 2-volume set of 154 of Paul's songs that he annotates with pictures that we've never seen before, handwritten lyrics, and he tells you about the background for the song. So now if I have a question about one of Macca's songs, I can go to the book and dig through and see what he has to say about it. So let's go to the 2nd volume and look up Penny Lane, which will be under P, and see what the man has to say about the creation of that terrific song. Paul says, "When I was going to John's house in Liverpool, I would change buses at the Penny Lane roundabout. There's a line about a barber showing photographs, and it's still amusing to me because it's as if the barbershop is a gallery that shows paintings." In the book, Paul includes a picture of the barbershop owned by Harry Bioletti. It's an Italian barbershop complete with the striped pole outside of it. Paul says, "All the members of the Beatles had our hair cut there at one time or another." Paul goes on to say, "The characters in Penny Lane are still very real to me. I drive past it to this day, showing people the barbershop, the bank, the fire station, the church I used to sing in, and where the girl stood with a tray of poppies as I waited for the bus. The pretty nurse, I remember her vividly." It's obviously going to take some time to get through all of Paul's songs in these 2 books. But what a joyous journey it's going to be. If you're a Paul McCartney fan, this is your Wikipedia. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, I sat in front of the TV, mesmerized, as I'm sure many of you did, watching the great 8-hour Peter Jackson Get Back documentary. It's fabulous, and there was a lot of new material about Get Back and Let It Be coming out around Christmas. And so that was all high on my Christmas list. But first, let's go back 50 years. Here is my original Let It Be box set record. And you notice the box is not in great shape. It's had a lot of wear and tear over the last 50 years. In addition to the record, inside the box, there was this softcover book. The photographs are by Ethan Russell, and the dialogue is taken from a film that Michael Lindsay Hogg created, which is called Let It Be. Now, reading this book and reading the dialogue of the Beatles bickering and arguing paints kind of a dismal picture. And in fact, the film Let It Be, I remember when I saw it in the theaters, you kind of came out of the theater going, really? This is how the Beatles disintegrated? No one really liked the film when it came out. In fact, none of the Beatles were at the premiere of the film. They had broken up by this time, and they had nothing but bad memories about Let It Be. And in fact, the movie has never been released on any home video format. Not DVD, not VHS. Well, actually, it has been released on one, and I have it. This is Let It Be on home video from the old Laserdisc days. But don't give up hope. With the success of Peter Jackson's documentary, it's quite possible the original Let It Be film will soon be re-released. Now, over the years, all of the Beatles have said they hated making Get Back and Let It Be. The sessions were the worst, and none of them have any good memories about this. In fact, I just recently went back and read their stories about it in the Beatles anthology. And yeah, they all think it was a pretty rotten time. But of course, Peter Jackson's film tells an entirely different story. And here's the accompanying book. So this was my second Christmas present that is called Get Back. And it says it's written by the Beatles. Now, in addition to the Ethan Russell pictures that are in the first Let It Be softbound cover book that I showed you earlier, we now have images by Linda McCartney as well. And if you watched Peter Jackson's show and you had trouble with some of the Beatles' Liverpudlian accents and you wondered what they were really saying, well, it's all here inside the book. I've started reading it. It's going to take a while to get through it. Yes, the memories in here are much different than in the Michael Lindsay Hogg Let It Be softcover book that came out with that, and they're much different than the Beatles have said themselves in the anthology. This is a fun read. Reading this book, I've come to an interesting conclusion that I didn't have before. I always kind of thought that the rooftop concert was an afterthought, kind of a cheap way for them to actually do a concert. But upon reading the book, I've come up with a new conclusion. Not only were the Beatles ambivalent about where in the world they should hold this concert, but they were afraid of their audience. What? Yeah, let me tell you why I say this. They hadn't played live for over 3 years, and their memories were of screaming teeny boppers where they couldn't even hear the music that they were playing. Well, in the 3 years, their audience had moved on, but the Beatles were locked inside a studio without the feedback from a live audience. Now, this is the audience that had started going to Led Zeppelin concerts, to Grateful Dead concerts, to the Cream concerts, and instead of screaming, they would sit there and really listen to the music. But the Beatles didn't know this. The concept for Get Back was that they were to write new songs, and then as they rehearsed them, they would be filmed doing that, and then the payoff would be they'd play a live concert. Now, Paul suggests, wouldn't it be cool for the location of this concert if they trespassed someplace and actually the police came in and hauled them away? So then they talk about having it at the Royal Albert Hall, but they can't figure out how they're going to deal with all the crowds. Then it's suggested that they do it outdoors at this old amphitheater in Tunisia. But then they talk about how the Arab crowds wouldn't really understand what they were singing. So then someone comes up with a grand idea about, let's rent an ocean liner and we'll go over and rehearse as we're going on the boat, bring the audience with us, and then we'll do the concert. And this is when George says, we'd be stuck on a bloody big boatload of people for 2 weeks. At least you can go home from here. You can get away from it all. They talk about how the concert should be for the world, and the audience, of course, will be huge. But they really don't know how to do that. And Paul says, I think we've got a bit shy, you know. Now, at one point in the book, Yoko actually suggests that maybe they should play to a theater full of empty seats. And George thinks this is a good idea. But then as they talk about it more, they go, well, that won't look too good on television that we're playing to an empty theater. So then somebody comes up with the idea, well, let's put cardboard cutouts in the seats. You know, kind of like they did on the Sgt. Pepper album. It's obvious that they're looking for something unique in this concert. At one point, they suggest that maybe the audience should be made up of animals. And then Paul, and I'm sure he's thinking about John and Yoko's just released Two Virgins album where they're both nude, Paul suggests maybe when the curtains open, the Beatles should be standing there nude playing it. Then George laughs and says maybe it's the audience who should be starkers. So they can't figure out where in the world to hold the concert or even who the audience would be. But they know that they need to have that live show to pay off the whole concept of Get Back, Let It Be, whatever that's going to be. They know that they need to do a live show someplace. And that's why the rooftop makes perfect sense. They don't have to worry about their audience. It's only their close friends, their family, and their co-workers. Oh yeah, and then it's all of London, but they can't see them. And the people of London can't see the Beatles on the rooftop. And it's being filmed. So yeah, it's for the world. So they've got their live show, they figured out the audience, it's the world, they've got their concert, and they get their payoff. Paul gets what he wants, the police come and pull the plug on him. So the rooftop was the only place they could have done this concert. Now there's actually a third book to talk about, but I'm going to put that off until the next episode, because it's inside the boxed vinyl set, the remastering of Let It Be and all the outtakes and everything. So we'll look at that next time in Let It Back Part 2, the LPs and the third book. Keep a rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button, and you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.